Time now for Reporters Roundtable to put the headlines in perspective. Bud and Ross both still with us. Ross, will start with you. And Governor Abbott, he wanted lawmakers to double the amount of money that the state would spend on pre-K classes, but the House and Senate did the opposite.
The House and the governor have a tense history here. He went to them last year and said, I will back you in elections if you support pre-K. They did. He didn't. They remember, and he's back asking for money, and they're saying, you didn't help us last time. He's got similar problems in the Senate trying to get his program put together. Part of the problem is he hasn't detailed the program yet. So, this may work out yet. They've still got 90 days.
Do you expect political fallout at all, Ross?
I do if they don't get a program. He says he's going to campaign against them this time if they don't come along. So we'll see how it develops.
Wow, Bud.
Part of the problem, too, is that you have small government Republicans who say it's too much, don't spend it. And then you have a lot of Democrats saying it's not enough. It's a terrible program. It doesn't do anything. That it's only a small gesture. This is a classic situation where the school districts that are getting money like it. The school districts that don't get any money, which is many more in Texas, don't like it. And so it's kind of dying for lack of support.
Ross, a House committee passed a bill to get guns out of state mental hospitals. How about overall mental health funding? Are we seeing any change at all this session?
Yeah, we could see one. This is kind of an interesting thing. There's a move in the Senate, and in particular, to put some money into mental health facilities that have degraded so much that just bringing them up to building code would cost something on the order of $750 million. They have the money to do that in the rainy day fund if they can put the votes together. So you could see some money there.
Bud, we hear all the time when we're not in session about how we need to spend more on mental health funding. Isn't this an opportunity?
And mental health funding is law enforcement funding. If you can keep people out of the law enforcement system, you save on prisons, you save on jails. But they just can't find the constituency and the money to move around. They have a 400-person waiting list, the Tribune reported, to get into a state mental hospital. If you're in horrible shape and you need to get in, the waiting list is 400 long. The state has to find some money somewhere. It's just a matter of how deep can you go into the rainy day fund.
Ross, President Trump's plans for a physical wall, not a virtual one, but a physical wall are kind of shaping up. How do we expect this to affect South Texas and especially out in the Big Bend area, Lajitas, where federal land is already owned?
Well, I think you're going to have a bunch of eminent domain fights here. Texans hate to give up land, and even if they like the idea of a wall, building a wall through a piece of property that's been in a family or been in a land grant for years and years is going to be contentious and very expensive.
Are you expecting lawsuits against the federal
wall
government?
will go around some of the eminent domain. The wall won't be right at the river. The wall has to be past the floodplain so that it doesn't cause more flooding. That's one of the big concerns, is not flooding communities on both sides of the river. So the wall, some places will be like a mile in. It'll go around somebody's land. If they fight eminent domain, they'll just put them on the other side of the wall.
So the big question then, Ross, do you expect the state of Texas to file a lawsuit against the federal government over this?
I don't know if the state will. It's not so much state lands, but I expect a lot of Texans to file lawsuits. I think there are going to be a lot of land fights on this one.
The other dollars and cents impact is that already in the valley we see McAllen's down 10% in sales tax. South Texas cities are down 10%. The shoppers aren't coming from Mexico.
A lot more to go. Gentlemen, thank you guys very much. We appreciate it. And thank you for watching as well. We'll continue to press the city for